Nísìnyí, a fẹ́ pe spíkà kejì, Ọ̀gbẹ́ni Emeka Okoye. Kó wá sọ̀rọ̀ nípa blockchain àti cryptocurrency.
Ndị be anyị ekene m unu. Mma akụziri unu blockchain na cryptocurrency. I think it's time to switch it to English now. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm here to talk about cryptocurrency and blockchain. Please, can I know by raise of hands how many people have heard about blockchain and cryptocurrency? Wow. Okay, so first, let me introduce myself. Okay, so I'm a semantic web architect. I work for a company called Semantic Limited. Basically, what we do is to help organizations harness their data assets so that they can use it to drive, get more insights and be better informed to create better products and services. I have 20 years software engineering experience, and out of which 7 years on semantic web. I also have a cryptocurrency advisory company called CryptoStrat, and we just created a cryptocurrency white paper, which will form the basis of what I'm about to talk about. So, my agenda today will be what is blockchain? There are so many definitions of blockchain. One of the most popular definition is that is just a data structure, which is just a linked list of file that has financial transactions in it. This is the simplest definition, but it's much more than that because of what is involved. But I'm going to give you a popular, Okay, so I'm going to give you a popular definition about it, which is basically a technology that permits transactions that gathers into blocks and recorded in cryptographically chained blocks in chronological order, and allows the resulting ledger to be accessed by different servers. So transactions are saved, financial transactions are saved in blocks of data, and they are not saved in such a way that is centrally saved, but rather it could be kept in multiple nodes of computers, meaning that these ledger records can be accessible from different parts, and whatever happened to each node doesn't affect the record. So it means that there's no central authority behind it. Okay, to fully understand the power of a blockchain system, we need to understand three most important things. One, the blockchain currency, which is the Bitcoin, that we all know about. Secondly, what that particular Bitcoin blockchain offers. Understanding that the blockchain is what powers the Bitcoin currency. And thirdly, what blockchain is all about. Now, this will form most of what I'm going to talk about. Now, we need to understand that every blockchain can have its own currency. So the more blockchain opportunity exists, so the more blockchain opportunity, the more cryptocurrencies we have. So like you could see, a blockchain is simply what records a transaction in blocks. And the blocks are chained to one another. And the reason is simple. If the blocks are chained to one another, is to make sure that they are linked, that nobody can inject any false data to it. And they use a lot of cryptographic elements in it. So it's encrypted. If you manipulate the data, then it can easily be noticed that the data is dirty. Now, that's what makes blockchain very interesting. Okay, what is a blockchain? Blockchain is any technology that permits transactions to be gathered into blocks and recorded cryptographically and change blocks in chronological order and allows the resulting ledger to be accessed by different servers. Another definition could equally be the blockchain is an incorruptible digital ledger of economic transactions that can be programmed to record not just financial transactions, but virtually everything of value. This was mentioned by Don and Alex Tapscott. Now, why is blockchain valuable? Simply because it's the kind of internet that allow information to be created without being copied. Originally, it was meant for digital currency, as we've seen in Bitcoin, but subsequently we've seen new uses for the technology. Also, some people look at it as digital gold. That's why there's so much speculation. We'll talk about that later. Now, to date, the value of cryptocurrency is close to $400 billion. And the blockchains are also making other types of value as well. Just like the internet, or maybe like driving a car, you can actually use the blockchain and its services without necessarily understanding the fundamental layer. Okay, so the architecture of a distributed ledger is basically that different nodes or different computers can have copies of this ledger. So meaning that there's no single point of failure and there's no central authority. It's really critical because in a central system like, let's say, something like Facebook and Google, it's centralized. So everybody logs on from one point, and it becomes easy for even people to hack the system because everybody's password, for instance, which is the valuable information, is stored in one location. So there's a motivation to hack those systems because it's centrally, it has a central architecture. But unlike the blockchain, the blockchain, especially the one we call decentralized ones, makes it impossible to hack because different computers at different locations on the internet have a copy of the database. So if you hack one of those nodes, it doesn't change anything because the original copies are elsewhere. That's the beauty of the blockchain. And secondly, the blockchain is as robust as the internet. We've never heard the internet going down. The blockchain has never gone down. So it's very robust. I would have shown how, okay, so behind me, you could see how the distributed ledger works. So the users initiate a transaction, and then they broadcast that transaction to different computers who now decide to validate each transaction. And the nodes now aggregate the validated transaction into blocks. Now, this validation takes place using a consensus, what we call a consensus protocol, where each machines are meant to run a certain task to decide who will validate the block. Now, after the block has been validated, then the transactions are now changed into the blocks, and that is what we have as blockchain. So now, the good thing about it is that, like I mentioned initially, is that there's no central authority behind the blockchain. So you can't hold any entity responsible for that. Uh, it can be used to create and issue digital assets. We'll talk about that one. It can also be used for transfer of ownership of these digital assets. And then it can allow for certain rights associated with ownership and of those assets to be exercised, which we'll also talk about later. Uh, okay, so by storing blocks of information that are identical across network, no single entity has control over the blockchain. I can't talk much about this. This would have been much better with a diagram. So I'm going to talk about the realities of cryptocurrency. So cryptocurrency is a form of finance that exists not only online, but in digital channels. Compared to the Naira, you cannot forge it, you cannot print it. And there's no central authority governing it. Cryptocurrencies are made possible because of this technology we have described. So each blockchain can create its own cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrencies were the first application of blockchain, and it introduced a new set of businesses, jobs, vocabulary in the world of payments. Now, the advantages of cryptocurrencies: speed and efficiencies in making payments and transfers, both internally and cross borders. It also gives opportunity for improved financial inclusion. And then the underlying technology can be used for a whole lot of things. But it also comes with its own risk. Like we've seen, it's also a potential vehicle for money laundering, terrorist financing, really, yeah, something like that, but not truly so. But these are all speculative. It's also an opportunity for tax evasion, fraud, and all that. So what's the cryptocurrency situation in Nigeria? It's been very popular. A lot of people are speculating on it. Nigeria has been trading close to $4.7 million every week on Bitcoin alone, up from $300,000 weekly from 2016. This is 2017 figures. So globally, we are number 23 in trading on Bitcoin. This is according to Crypto Compare. But last year, we had the second largest growth in peer-to-peer cryptocurrency transaction. It was trailing behind China after witnessing a growth of 1,500%. And this is even when the Naira was very weak, when CBN devalued the currency. One of the cryptocurrency exchanges in Nigeria called NairaX, there are about 18 cryptocurrency exchanges. As of 2 years ago, had 10,000 customers, but in 2017 they added 90,000 customers. So that's to tell you how cryptocurrency trading is booming. And also last year we also noticed that a lot of these informal forex malams that we call them are also into Bitcoin trading. We call them digital aboki. Maybe some of you have seen them. So they do Bitcoin trading, the same place they do the forex trading. So what are the opportunities for cryptocurrency in Nigeria? One, people worldwide, one is financial needs. People try as much as possible. We've had the last panel session here talking about, people bringing people into the financial space. The thing is that cryptocurrency gives you an opportunity to manage your finances without having a central authority dictating how you should, manage your money. So it gives freedom. And that opportunity has been taken. We know that there is the physical irresponsibility of government, in quote, stability and safety. We saw how Naira lost its value in the last 2 years, and people might feel safer investing in cryptocurrency. The second opportunity is that cryptocurrency is not anonymous, though you always hear, you can do anonymous transaction, which is not true. Uh, the reason is simple because most of the cryptocurrencies are pseudonymous. So meaning that a label is used, or a code is used to, between your true identity and the identity you use in transacting. Once that code is unraveled, then your identity is known. So it's not true that it can be anonymous. It's just one step away from being unraveled. And it's one of the things that makes cryptocurrency not too attractive for most of the criminal enterprise. Um, we have tax opportunities with cryptocurrencies. Now we are saying that government should embrace cryptocurrency. And they could do that, seeing this as a source of tax revenue for them. Uh, if they can just, uh, uh, if they can make all cryptocurrency exchanges embrace KYC, then it's easy to, know who are those transacting cryptocurrencies, and you can tax uh, accordingly. And again, you can see cryptocurrency not only as currency, but you can see it as an investment asset, fixed assets, and potential tax opportunities. It also leads to job opportunities as well. Cryptocurrency has created new set of jobs, and a lot of companies are employing more people to render these services. Now, the biggest of opportunities for us, if our regulators can see, is turning Nigeria into a financial heaven for Africa. We can lead Africa in the financially, if we can embrace that. Now, I'm going to give an example of what is happening in Switzerland. So, Switzerland's regulators just understood cryptocurrencies, saw where it was going, and decided to create regulations to encourage startups to create their ICOs in Switzerland. Now, Switzerland's objective is to become a very strong financial haven. So, with the regulation, like as at last year, 2017, 14% of all ICOs were registered in Switzerland, generating close to 500 or close to $600 million. So ICO became a source of FDI for Switzerland, and also brought in a lot of investors. So if Nigeria could create the right regulation and the right environment for this, um, it's going to bring a lot into the country, a lot jobs, a lot startup, and will gain. Now, the biggest opportunity is cross-border trade. Africa presently is trading at close to 15, 16%. And a lot of trade is usually due to this regulation by, restriction by regulators, which is a problem. Having that financial freedom with cryptocurrency makes it very, creates that freedom for you to easily trade with whoever you want with, especially the people nearby. We haven't exploited those opportunities, but we have a huge opportunity, and most of these opportunities not being exploited due to trade barriers, trade agreements, and all that. But with cryptocurrency, you are not under the trade barriers that exist, or the trade agreements your government has. Uh, Challenges. The biggest problem we have is that our financial sector, institutions, their mindsets are not yet tuned to this kind of technology. They don't understand. They don't even understand why you should have the freedom of saving your money. They don't understand the reason why you should have that freedom of deciding what you want to do with the money. So it's a big problem. You know, there's there's also an opportunity to have like a central bank coin. And why would central bank want to have a coin? It could give a cheaper alternative to debit and credit cards. It's a cheaper form of payment. And it means that there won't be transaction fees or little or zero transaction fees formed that will be necessary for merchants. But this is supposed to be good news. But the sad part is that the regulators don't want to see it. They don't want to believe in that. So it's a problem. So clearing. Now this is where cryptocurrencies perform badly. You cannot do clearing with a decentralized system. Clearing needs central authority because you need a trusted partner to clear between two entities. So cryptocurrencies can't help. So this is one place cryptocurrency can be useful in the banking system. Monetary policy. Monetary policy again has to do with government regulating the supply of money, interest rates in the economy, and all that. But with but with cryptocurrencies, they won't have that opportunity. This is one of the things that scares them. That with cryptocurrency, they will lose out of the economy, the power to regulate, change, monitor, and manage the economy will be lost. Speculation. Unfortunately, a lot of people are speculating, have over speculated on cryptocurrencies. Why? Because they feel that holding these cryptocurrencies that in the future will yield much more. But in essence, in fairness, this is not totally true because it's not about value. It's making the whole thing expensive and it's actually having a negative effect on cryptocurrencies. And I will soon talk about why. So, the speculation is also leading to volatility, which is making it less and less of an attraction as a currency. No currency in the world is as volatile as what cryptocurrencies have gone through. So it's actually a bad thing. Then also, we also notice that people also see the cryptocurrency as a way for easy money. So a lot of them dabble into this speculation. There's a lot of fraud, fake ICOs. People are looking for how to defraud. But the bottom line is two fundamental bottom line why it cannot make a stable currency is simply because this volatility is too much and transaction processing is too slow. Now, the biggest problem of cryptocurrency right now is that it has reduced innovation. You might find this very hard. Now, cryptocurrency is all about moving digital assets. It's all about moving ownership of digital assets from one hand to another. It's mainly about digital assets. But owning those tokens and cryptocurrencies make movement of digital assets from one hand to another very expensive because it will cost the value of the tokens of the blockchain to move assets from one hand to another. So that's you're already adding cost. So because of that, not much innovation has been happening. And until the cost of these currencies, cryptocurrencies, go down, there won't be much to be done. Take for instance, if you want to move the value of a digital asset like say a car from one hand to another, you have to put the cost of the present value of cryptocurrency on top of whatever value the car is. So cryptocurrency values need to go down for more innovations to happen on how this ownership of digital assets can move from one hand to another. Okay, unfortunately, oh, okay, next. Okay, so these opportunities of blockchain, I'll run them easily. Now, this is what we call product provenance. Um, certain products you want to understand how the product came into, the value chain. Take for instance, you don't want to eat fish that came from Afghanistan or maybe in Congo where we've had situation where there are child slaves and all that. So you want to buy products, you can see where it came from, where it was sourced, and what processes can do. Blockchain is a very good solution for that. So the product provenance is will give you everything that has happened from raw materials to product development. Next slide. Okay, so in IoT, Now, I'm involved in a project that has to do with IoT, and that has to do with uh, homes generating their power and them selling their excess homes, their excess power to their neighbors. So first of all, you don't know all your neighbors, but you have to sell your energy, excess energy. That's we are talking of renewable energy now. So your batteries. So some neighbors will have bigger batteries, some will have smaller batteries. But your own battery, you've exhausted its energy. And you might have what we call a smart contract, which are algorithms that can run at certain digital conditions on a blockchain. So you can, for instance, buy up excess battery power from your neighbor and fill it up on your system. You don't have to go through the national grid. So a blockchain can do that. Next. Now we have things like insurance claims, uh, airline compensation, and apartment rental. Now, something like an apartment rental is that you can put the door of an apartment onto a blockchain, and the payment has to be made for the door to work. So if I rent a house for 1 year, with the cyber currency, the cryptocurrency, once the time is exhausted, the door stops locking. And because it's on a blockchain, people who are interested in that rentals can see it and apply uh, the next. Okay, so in things like asset registry, government, uh, government to citizens transactions, they can use blockchain for license, for identity management, and even information sharing between government to government, even contractors and all that. Blockchain, because it brings transparency in a trustless environment, is a very good solution. Next. Okay, energy. So this is what I just explained. Uh, Power generated locally can be put onto a blockchain. People around your neighborhood, the houses around your house, can see excess energy waiting to be bought, and then you can buy manually or automatically. Next. Even in healthcare, uh, and so on. Next. Okay, so the blockchain platform for executing smart contracts. So we have a programmable blockchain, which are just algorithms that run at certain digital condition. You can say, for instance, when an event happens, then these people needs to be paid. To make it simpler for you, there's a big blockchain situation happening now. So musicians, there's a blockchain for music. So as you're buying each music, on that blockchain, everybody in the music business is there. So from the singer, from the instrumentalist, from the artist himself. So once you buy a track, money is split in agreed percentage to everybody involved. So record label, uh, artist, the writer, and so on. That's what a smart contract can do. Next. Okay, so now this is very critical. Like I said, Bitcoin is not the nirvana. It's not disrupting any business. But what it's going to do is that it's going to make things better. And the reason why is simple. It's a new technology. Things can change in the next 5 years, but as of today, it's not disrupting anything. But it's going to make a whole lot of things better. In Africa, it's very useful because our environment, we have trustless situations and not so transparent situations. So we need to, there are still questions we need to ask about blockchain. So how do we get our data? How do we extend smart contracts to the enterprise? How do we respond to events from the ledger? How do we analyze data inside the ledger? And how can we manage access to blockchain capability? This has not been addressed yet, but I mean, we are not, we are sure by tomorrow these things will be done. Thanks. Okay, so not every problem requires a blockchain. I've talked about this. Before we think of a blockchain solution, we need to talk about the network participant trust and integrity issue. If we have trust issue, it's a blockchain opportunity. Amount of data to be stored, performance, and ability to automate business interaction. So a summary. Uh, oh, back. Okay, we live. Sorry, go back. Okay, we live in disruptive times. No pause button. Um, next. Okay, so cryptocurrencies will not replace Nigerian naira in the near future, but will disrupt the Nigerian banking system, no doubt. They have the potential to play a significant role in the payment system. The widespread use will reduce the demand for naira, though, but not in the near future. The demand for if the demand for naira is zero, uh, central bank will still be able to effectively conduct monetary policy. Next. Uh, next. Thank you.